Hey, it's me again, Samuel Capers, continuing my story, and hope you're enjoying what you're hearing. Now, I've been living a blissful life right now, with my beautiful woman beside me, and we started doing some heavy talking. Asked her about her family, and she told me they grew up in West Orange, New Jersey. Her mother was the one that held the family together. She was tough, determined, but loved her children so much. Linda told me she has an older sister, Brenda. Brenda was on a little bit of the wild side, but eventually she was a good kid. Her father, he gets work from here and there. He wasn't really determined. He wasn't really gung-ho about working. And that's why the mother held the family together. But the mother got sick, and she suffered from pancreatic cancer. At first they thought they had a handle on it, but eventually she got worse and eventually died. And that really hurt her so much because she looked up to her mother, not so much the father. And then she told me her father became really, really despicable, starting to molest Brenda. So Brenda, since she was 18, she decided to move out, move far away from her father, leaving poor Linda alone with this perverted bastard. And sooner or later, the father started trying to molest Linda. She had to bear with it because she was all by herself. Yeah, I did not like that when I heard that. So she finished school and eventually moved out with some friends and started her life. I said, "Your father's still around?" She said, "Yes, he still lives in that big house in West Orange." "Oh, really? How you get that?" "From the insurance money my mother had upon her death." "Ah." So, I asked a question. "Do your father has insurance on him?" And Linda said, "Yes." I said, "When's the last time you seen him?" And she said, "About 3 years ago, somewhere around that time." I said, "Oh." And Linda asked, "What are you thinking about?" I looked at Linda, I said, "Look, he got away with crimes he shouldn't have done in the first place. I have an idea formulating. Remember what happened to Hank?" And she said, "Yes." "Well, They never found anything in his system because of the stuff I used. And they called it natural causes of his death, a heart attack. Your father needs to have a heart attack. And Linda just had this huge smile on her face. She said, "You will do that for me?" Well, yes. I'll do that for you. And then we can collect the insurance money or whatever you have left from your mother's money. And we can live happily ever after. So Linda was like, that sounds like a plan. By the way, how was your upbringing? I said, I had a good childhood, I had to admit. I was the only child, and I had a mother, father. But they died in a car accident. They was hit by a bus, of all things. And Linda gasped. Said, "Oh my goodness, what happened after that?" Well, CPS had to place me with my grandparents. And this is in the town of East Orange, New Jersey. They tried to raise me as best they can, but I was kind of a adolescent. I didn't want to care about anything. I miss my mother and father. I miss where we lived at. Now where my grandparents live at, I hated all those kids. These little bastards. And this was one kid. He lived in that building. His name was Dennis. And so he always messed with me. Always wanted to bully me. Because he was slightly bigger than me and always wanted to bully me. But at the time, my fighting skills weren't up to par. So, I use other things. My mental capabilities and my devious nature. So I kind of know his routine when he's coming home from school. So I hid in one of the alleys on the storefront she's going back and forth from. And when I seen him, I had rope in my hand. Make sure nobody's around. And then I ambushed him. Put the rope around his neck and pulled him into the alley. He struggled. I was trying to hold on. But he wasn't going nowhere. I strangled him to death. Oh, that time he just bullying me, making my life miserable. And I wouldn't let go. I wanted to make sure he was dead. Not a breath came out of him. Once I was satisfied, I left him in the back part of the alley. So I made my way home. My grandmother always worried about me more so than my grandfather. But as long as I got good grades, especially after Dennis was gone, my attitude was much better. I still never associated with them little bastards around there. I didn't like those kids. I did not like him. So I was a loner. And that's my story. The first time I ever killed someone. And I liked it. I liked it so much. I kept it dormant for a while. You know, I just worked a lot. I kept it submerged. Never want to get into any incidents where I'm going to get angry and that rage come out. But now and then I still miss my mother and my father. And Linda looked at me and says, well, it made you into a better man. A man that I love. And that's all that counts. Yes, baby. Now, let's plan to make your father deceased. Plan a visit. Call him up and say you want to come visit. Did he get remarried? She said no. He just like having little skanks around the house. Back and forth. Okay. Let me get some of my chemicals. And you make that phone call. So later on, she calls her father. Said, what you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Idle chit chat. I'd like to see you. Said, sure. So, I got my special concoction. And me and Linda jump in my car. And off we go. We are so anxious. But I said, relax, baby. Relax. This is going to go smoothly. Is he a drinking man? And she said, yes. Good, good, good. So we get into West Orange. And she said, go up that hill. It's the house on the right. I said, okay. Nice big house. So we get into the driveway. Get out. Her father standing on the porch. He's going, hey, Linda. Ain't seen in a while. Who's your friend? And Linda introduced me. And then she introduced me to her father. His name was Harold. I said, man, glad to meet you, sir. Oh, no, come on in, come on in. And I noticed that Harold was looking at his daughter. Because she was looking nice. And had on some jeans that really contoured her hips. And he was looking at it with a nasty, hungry look. He said, yeah, so I ain't seen you in a long time, he says. He said, what, it's been like 3 years? And she said, yes. So what you been doing with yourself? You know. So he offered some drinks. And I said, okay. Some lemonade. Open glass. Perfect. So he poured and put his to the side. He said, oh, tell me more about yourself. What's going on with you? And I clicked out my little container. Just ready. And so Linda played bluff and got him to move and ask about certain things on the wall, pictures. And so I quickly dumped the content in his glass. It dissolves real quick. Yeah. Then she came back to the table and said, yeah, I'm working at this place, that place, blah, 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 blah. Good girl, good girl. And then Harold just picked up his glass and said, I'd like to make a toast. I know it's not alcohol, but I stopped drinking for a while. I said, oh, that's good. And we all clicked our glasses together. And Harold drunk his drunk. Oh, it went down smooth. He said, I love lemonade. Yes, lemonade is good. So we talked for a little bit. And Harold was getting kind of woozy. I said, sir, you okay? He said, I don't know, I'm feeling strange. Ugh. And eventually, Harold fell over. Just like that. Just like that. We called 911. Paramedics came, took him away. Here we in this big old house. So the coroners determined that he died of a heart attack. And so Linda was able to get the insurance policy. She had to call her sister. Her sister said, our father's dead? She said, yes. Well, I'll be around to settle up. So I said, okay. Just split it with your sister. She deserves it for all the stuff she went through. And it was quite a sum. He insured himself for $500,000. So $250,000 a piece. And we can start a new life with that. I said, baby, this is becoming a great situation for us. We could do what we want, but we must be careful. And we could sell this house if you want. She said, no. I've always liked this house. I said, it's all paid for, right? Yes. No mortgage. It's all paid up for. All we have to do is worry about the property tax. Oh, that's always. And she said, Samuel, I want you to come live with me right here. I'm tired of apartment living. I finally have a house. And I looked at her. Good. I would love that. And besides, Samuel, I said, besides what? I have something to share with you. What? She looked me deep into my eyes. I need a house to help raise my family. What? Samuel, I'm pregnant. I nearly fell over. Really? Really? Oh my God. That's fantastic. And I held her tightly. Never have I found a woman so nurturing, so loving, so sexy. I am in heaven. I'm soon to be a father. But the story is not over. The story is not over. From watching me in action and also participating, I opened up a bloodlust in Linda. And she told me this time and time again that she craves on really hurting people, torturing them, and eventually killing them. I said, oh, just a woman after my own heart. That's good. That's good. And with the baby coming along the way, we're going to be one tight-knit and demented family. And she added, but a loving family. Oh, yes. Lots of love. Yes.